This season of life, this in-between space, is tender and precious and strange and beautiful. And that's why I'm especially excited about the themes that we're digging into this season.
Welcome to Late Bloomer Living, the podcast where we're all about shaking up our ideas about what it means to grow older. I'm Yvonne Marchese, your resident age agitator and play instigator. Around here, we believe midlife is the perfect time to play, to reinvent, and bloom like you mean it. Let's go.
Hello, my friend. Welcome back to Late Bloomer Living. This is the first episode of season 6. Can you believe it? I can't. I can, but I can't. Anyway, I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad to be back. You know, when I wrapped season 5 back in July, I had a pretty clear picture in my head of how this summer would go. I thought, okay, I'll rest, I'll get creative, and I'll savor this last summer with my youngest before he goes off to college. I'll dream and plan and ease into what's next. That was the plan. But life, as it tends to, had some curveballs in store. There was a family health emergency that brought everything else to a halt, and I'm not going to share the details to respect privacy, but I'll say it reminded me how precious time is and how being present for the people that we love matters more than anything. I'm so grateful that I was able to be there the way things worked out. And even more grateful that everything turned out okay. There were some hard days in there, but there was also beauty in the slowing down. There was beauty in the actual change of plans, in the letting go of what I thought had to get done so that I could focus on what really mattered. And then, the end of summer here, came the milestone. I dropped my youngest off at college. Now, I've known this day was coming. You know, we planned, we packed, we bought all the dorm things, and still nothing quite prepares you. Nothing. The Monday morning after we dropped him off, I went for a skate that Monday. It was my usual early morning ritual. And as I was heading towards the beach where I skate, I found myself stuck behind a school bus. And that's when it hit me. Oh my gosh, it's the first day of school in our town. And for the first time in nearly 2 decades, I didn't have to drop off a kid or think about it. That's why it came as a surprise, right? And then on my way to the beach, I passed a house, and in front of the house was a family taking first day of school photos of their kids on their front lawn. Oh my gosh, I nearly pulled over. The lump in my throat was real. The mix of emotions, pride, sadness, grief, freedom, all wrapped into one bittersweet moment. If you know, you know. So I've been sitting with all of this and letting the mix of emotions be what it is, because what else is it going to be? Seriously though, I'm not. What I'm trying to do is really sit with it. I'm not trying to rush past it or slap a silver lining on it too quickly, because this season of life, this in-between space, is tender and precious and strange and beautiful. And that's why I'm especially excited about the themes that we're digging into this season. Season 6 is going to be full of conversations about redefining what success looks like in midlife and beyond. It's going to be about learning how to create joy on your own terms, moving through fear, not avoiding it, and taking bold action anyway. These are the themes that I'm wrestling with personally, and I suspect you might be too. And I want to share this journey with you. So, one of the bold, slightly terrifying things that I am doing is I'm leaning into YouTube. And it's because it stretches me. Well, there's a lot of reasons for leaning into YouTube. First of all, it's hard sometimes for people to find podcasts that through search. Like if somebody goes to, the Google and types something in, they're very rarely going to be directed towards a podcast that's going to help them with that issue. But YouTube actually is a search engine. The podcast already lives over on YouTube too. You may be listening to it on your phone, most likely. That's, I think, where most people tend to listen to podcasts, is on an app on your phone, a podcatcher of some sort. But some people listen to podcasts on YouTube. It is audio only there. It just kind of gets shot over from my podcast host and lives there. But I feel like YouTube viewers are primarily viewers. And so what I want to do is bring these ideas that we're exploring on the Late Bloomer Living podcast to people on YouTube to try to get the message out that just because we're getting older, we ain't dead yet, you know? So video is a whole different animal than podcasting. You can see me, my facial expressions, my quirks, my goofiness, my wrinkles, my messiness. I'll tell you, it's a whole new layer of vulnerability. It's a whole new layer of having to get organized around what I'm doing. But also, it's a whole new playground. I want to learn, personally, my personal journey part of this is that I want to learn how to tell better stories. To not just talk about reinvention, but live it right out loud. So if you follow me over there, you'll see maybe some more short videos, not sure yet. Some roller skating, some dancing, I don't know. Some of the videos are going to be playful. That's my goal. Some might be reflective. Some of them might be well edited, and some might be totally imperfect. And really, that's the point. We don't get better by waiting until we feel ready. We get better by doing, by experimenting, and by playing. So, you might be in a season of big changes too. Maybe your kids are leaving the nest. Maybe your career is shifting. Maybe you're just starting to ask yourself, what's next for me? My goal is that this podcast is here for you. And I want this space to feel kind of like a virtual kitchen table where we can sit down with a cup of coffee or tea or wine or kombucha or whatever you drink and talk about the stuff that really matters. And that's what I'm building here. And I want to build it with you. I hope you'll be part of it. And speaking of you being part of it, I want to hear from you. Really, I mean it. I want to hear from you. If you've been navigating your own season of change, whether it's a win or a challenge, a question, or something you're just curious about, could be anything, I want to know. And did you know that you can leave me a message? There's a little leave me a message button on the podcast page of my website. It's like a little voicemail. So you can just head over to latebloomerliving.com/podcast and click on that little button and just talk. Let me know what's blooming in your life right now. What are you struggling with? And what topics would you love to hear covered on the podcast this season? I've already got some stuff in the works, but there's still plenty of time. And I really would love to know what you need. Are you curious about brain health? Are you wondering how to stay strong and flexible in midlife and beyond? Are you trying to figure out sleep? Oh my gosh, that's a struggle, right? Hormones, menopause, mindset shifts. Let me know what's important to you, please. I'm building season 6 for us, and your voice, your story matters. So drop me a little message. I might even feature your question or insight into a future episode. And if that freaks you out, just let me know that you want your message to be private. I absolutely understand that. So, season 6 starts now. Vroomy vroom vroom. Let's go. I'm showing up with an open heart and a camera, and I'm inviting you to do the same. So let's explore what it means for you, what it means for me. It's going to be different for both of us, right? Let's explore what it means to bloom in this season of life, not in spite of our age, but because of it. I'm so glad you're here. I'm getting a little bit clumped. Let's keep growing, eh? Until next time, bloom like you mean it, my friend.